Hello, and thank you so much for being here. It's always my pleasure. I have been away for quite some time, but now, as you can see, the environment is different. I am here in Brazil, and what a year we all had. I'm sure we all have our own experiences to tell, to learn from, to gain some perspective. I think we all have learned a lot this year, to say the least. But now I am here really to give you my own insights about 2022, a year that will be a division in the waters of humanity, I believe. Okay, so I'm going to do this my way. I know that every practitioner works in a different way, and this diversity is very welcomed by me and is much appreciated because you can gain new insights from each one of us. So, I'm sure other people may disagree, other practitioners may say, well, I wouldn't do this way, I would probably do that way. That's okay for me. All I can give you are my own insights based on my practice and my experience. Every now and again, we may have a little guest coming here, so don't feel alarmed if the video gets a bit fuzzy. But let's start, okay? So, I am going to start this time with the Lenormand. I work with the Tarot and the Lenormand, and I think it's interesting to combine the two perspectives, and let's see what happens, okay? So, just to get really the flavor of it, okay, let's start with 21, okay? 21 is the mountain in the Lenormand, and I am sure we all faced huge obstacles, personally and collectively. And why do I say collectively? Because the card 20 is the garden. So, everything that's to do with the garden is to do with the social, with the collective, with people. It doesn't affect only us as individuals, it will affect the collective, society, humanity, the environment, how we live. Okay? So here we had obviously social restrictions, yeah? And not only on traveling, but going out, getting out of the house, and so on and so on. Now we come here to 2022. So I have a new deck, new year, new deck. 2022. Again, we keep the theme here because this century is all about collective awakening, collective changes, social changes. That will continue through 2022. But here we are going to have choices. Humanity will enter a new era. This is a new path. Okay? These choices, they are not only on the collective, but I would say personal choices as well. There is a crossroad here waiting for us. I could say that many people will be moving, okay? Many people will be changing careers. I could say that. Relationships that are no longer working, people will go on their separate ways. On the other level, new beginnings in the path. Okay, so this brings options, choice, perspective. Suddenly you will feel that the old road, the old way, the yellow brick road changes. And us as human beings, we go through this period of changes. So this is really the turn of the tide in humanity. I also see that women will become very important in 2022, especially in leadership and the economy, because here we have the Queen of Pentacles. I very much welcome this change. I think it's time for women really to take their place. Yes. Now, on another level, if we really add all the cards, 2 plus 2 plus 2, and 20, 22, we get card number 6, which is really like the winds. This year will be turbulent. This year will bring a lot of doubt, uncertainty, changes, sudden changes of mind. I don't want this, I thought I wanted that, I don't want anymore. There may be here, a gentleman, a man, a leader that is going to cause a lot of upheaval in the world, okay? I also think that situations, they go fast and furious, but at the same time, the winds change very suddenly. So I think this year will go very fast, but there will be turbulences, there will be a lot of doubt, suspicion, uncertainty, lack of trust, and all of that. So we can prepare here for a very turbulent year. Now, if I really see, from a different perspective as well, I would say more of a planetary, astrological perspective, this year will be ruled by Mercury. So this is the rider here. Changes in communication, changes on the internet, changes in banking, new ways of, I would say, save money, cryptocurrencies. I would also say digital banking, the speed of the internet, people traveling. I think the topic of travel is certainly going to get better, especially short travel, multicultural communication. This is Mercury. There is a message here, I would say, for humanity, really. And there will be also a lot of kind of curiosity to learn new things, to study, to investigate. Mercury wants to know things, wants to go a bit deeper into things. Especially, with the winds here, people will not just sit back and watch. They will be researching, they will be knowing, they will be reading. Many people may choose to go back to college to study a topic, and so on and so on, okay? So this is what I can see here on the Lenormand. Now, let's move on to the tarot. That is also very revealing, I hope. And I hope these little insights here may be useful to you, so you can get prepared for what is coming, okay? So now, the first thing is that, Mercury is going to rule the year of 2022. And I have 3 perspectives for you. It's the Magician, Mercury, ruling Gemini and Virgo, okay? So I would say, just based on my insight, that the periods of May, June, and August, September will be very relevant in the world. Now, really, Mercury is the manifester, because he knows how to use the tools presented here. You know, he's clever, he has the intellect, he has the ability to use what is there at his disposal and bring change for himself and for others. You know, this is a beautiful representation of Mercury, by the way. Marquette Tarot. Okay, so I think there will be a lot of interest in spiritual aspects and magic and mystery, you know. The other side of Mercury, of course, is the trickster. So there will be lots of, like, you know, wheeler dealers around. So don't trust everything you hear, you know. Also, the propagation of fake news, that's part of the other side of Mercury as well. We have to be very aware. Now, Mercury really ruling the four elements here, you know. What I can see from this is that there will be significant changes here, you know, new adventures, new actions in the world, really, especially in springtime. I see something new coming up, new ventures. Summertime here, there will be, you know, discussions, reflections about feelings. I think relationships this year will be a big topic. There will be cutting cords here. Okay, there will be significant disharmony. Autumn could be a difficult period. I don't want to be the bringer of doom and gloom, but at the same time, you know, I am someone who likes to say as it is. And I would say that there will be friction between nations and threats of war. Changes on the economic, financial front as well. Some currencies will lose value while others will raise up or rise up. I am not sure. So I think the big changes here will be that, because that's all part of the magician, you know, how he manipulates his resources. And is also a lesson to us, you know, to learn to manipulate our resources very well. And when I say manipulate, is not really the negative manipulating, manipulative is manipulate with your hands, you know. Just be aware of what you can do and do it. Now, that's Mercury done. If we go here, okay, to see really the year 2022, again, you know, we have here judgment, is truth, is the big awakening, is waking up really to a new life, okay? People that were like sleeping. Is incredible, you know, that we have this woke culture. Isn't this amazing? You know, people are waking up in any way they want to wake up. I think labeling people is very counterproductive, because you create labels, you create friction, you know. What is the problem if people think that they are waking up and they don't want to live the same life anymore? Why should they be forced to live a life that they don't want? Okay, so this is really the woke culture from a spiritual perspective. People are seeing their own truths. New truths are emerging. And this is going to be the whole century, you know. This is going to be really the whole century. I think it's very relevant. I think there is really spiritual awakening. I think this year of 2022 really, there will be something that is going to shake humanity to its core. my opinion. Okay. Now, we see here, 2022. The result of that is 6. That is the Lover's card in the tarot. So we have here 2 perspectives again. Okay. One is that I think people will be acting more from the heart. There will be a lot of soul searching really about what is the right relationship, what am I not happy with, what I would want to change. This is Gemini, also ruled by our lovely friend here, Mercury, isn't it? So we can see already some synchronicity here. I do think really that, May, June will be very important times. But anyway, so the other aspect really of the Lovers is choice, because if you look at this card here, you see the snake on the tree. So the question is, do I eat the apple? Don't I eat the apple? Do I go this way? Do I choose this person? This could be a year of love triangles. And when I say love triangles, I am also talking about you, someone else, and a job. You have a partner, you want to live in one location, he wants to live somewhere else. That's in the middle of the relationship. Someone has a partner who had children from previous relationships, and maybe there will be frictions. So, love triangles, they don't necessarily mean betrayal or someone else, Think about what stands in this relationship or in this potential relationship that you see as a barrier, something that stands between you and the other person, because certainly there will be choices, okay? Love or not to love. I always think that love wins, It's better to regret what you do than to be thinking 40 years later, I wish I should have done this. I could, I should, I would. That's not the life we want to live. Now, another aspect that I have noticed here, is 2022. Okay? So let's start here. 2, we have here the High Priestess. And the archetype here is obviously intuition, I think some people, they will want to investigate secrets, conspiracy theories, and the sorts. They will see that there is something hidden in the background that they want to know more. I do see a great boom in spiritual development, alternative therapies, people searching for more spiritual understanding. I think some people will be doing courses here just to gain a greater meaning of life, a greater understanding of the meaning of life. I also think that there are lots of things hidden in the background that may come to light, and we will feel in our hearts that something is missing, and we will want to investigate. The other aspect, of course, is the Fool, 20. That is really, for me, a new beginning. This is the beginning of a new world. There will be chaos. There will be, I want to change. I don't want to be here. I want to change. I want to change it now. I don't want to be where I am anymore. Other people, really, I'm fed up of my job. I want something new. I want something fresh. I want something that is more in line with my soul, with what I want, with what I am. The Fool really is when people have the courage to jump in the unknown. And I would say that lots of people will be moving places. The other aspect really of 2 plus 2, is the Emperor. Is card number 4, which I'm looking here. For some reason I didn't put here. Emperor really has to do with structures, leaderships. We will be questioning our leaders. We will want more. I think there will be certainly a change in power, okay? Because the Emperor really is who rules the world, and with all the cards here, Judgment, Fool, High Priestess, and so on. I do think that this is going to be the year that a new power, a new leadership will not only assert itself but really emerge. Okay, I do think, if we are really like honest here, we all know that China is coming with a bang and all that. Here it is. Emperor, leadership, power, ruling, management, structures, duties, responsibility. Okay, so if I put this here with all the cards that I am seeing, I do think that there will be a clear change in who rules this world. It's as simple as that. This is not what I want, this is what it's here. But there's also, I would say, the natural flow of life. We had the Roman Empire, we had the British Empire, we had the American Empire, and now there is another empire. That's the flow. Do I like this? It's not for me to like or dislike, guys. It is what it is. It is what it is. And we will get there because there will be changes. Now, if number 6 is the Sun, which is, the Lovers, ruled by Mercury, just for the sake of it, I checked here, the numbers 6 in the minor arcana, because 6 is the Sun, isn't it? So I think lots of people will have victories in what they want. There will be more warmth and, I would say, willpower to complete things. I think, there is an element of group here. Lots of people may become public speakers. They will want to talk about their experiences, group work, and so on and so on. And if you have talent to this kind of thing, I would say go for that, because that could be very interesting. There will be a wave of nostalgia. Lots of people will be thinking, if they are not already thinking, the world used to be a better place. Remember when I used to sleep with my windows open, and I used to get milk with the milkman, and so on and so on. That's necessary. I think that's healthy, but we should have, I would say, go a day walk into memory lane, but we cannot really live there anymore. We are in another place now. On another level, lots of people will be receiving calls, messages, news from old lovers, or old friends, or people that you haven't really connected in a very long time. So that is going to be interesting. There will be a reconnection maybe with people that you lost contact, and that may be a lovely experience. I do think here with the 6 of Pentacles that people will be fighting for more equality. I think any attempts really to cut on welfare or benefits, or any services here will be met with a very robust opposition. People will really be interested in equality, you know, they will want more, they will want to be treated fairly. Also, I think many people will be seeking here banks, institutions, welfare, in order to rebalance their finances. The big thing here is also charity, you know. Some people, they will feel that call in their hearts that they should dedicate themselves to a cause, they should help the other person, they should really focus on something that they are passionate about. So this beautiful side of humanity will come up very movingly, I would say. People will really be thinking about how can I help, how can I contribute to the world. On another level, new ways of traveling, okay. I would say we have like planes and trains and buses and all that. I think another ways will come up, okay, very ingeniously, I would say. But Six of Swords is what I have said before. Lots of people will want to move. Lots of people will either go back to their countries, decide to emigrate somewhere else, or I go somewhere, I like this place so much that I want to live here. So social mobility will be a big thing here, in immigration, emigration, you know, where do you live? I would say the refugee crisis will reach its peak, really. You know, there will be a lot of people, unfortunately, fleeing their countries. And, you know, I think the Six of Pentacles coming very handy. I think we will want to help in any way we can. Now, last but not least, okay, I will very briefly, really, because I don't want to bore you too much with this. I will be doing a video later with, you know, the horoscopes and the zodiac and my predictions for all the star signs. But now, there will be a very interesting configuration this year, and there will be lots of configurations, okay. I am not really a professional astrologer, I only have a certificate in astrology, but I am fascinated by astrology, and I would say I am an astrology lover. I am an astrology junkie, and I have my own astrologer, Rain, and she is absolutely fantastic, I have to say. You know, I don't really make many decisions without consulting with her. Now, we are going to have a configuration that is Jupiter and Neptune conjunct in Pisces, okay? Jupiter and Neptune are slow planets, which means that when they move, humanity moves. And we have these two planets conjuncting in Pisces, and then moving on to Aries, coming back to Pisces, and finally moving on. So here, I am going to deal with that in a bit of a novel way, I hope, using the tarot cards, okay? So Jupiter is represented by the Wheel of Fortune. So there is something here that is expansion, is about destiny, is about the turn of the wheel. You know, people that they were humiliated and forgotten, they will ascend. This could be really the year of the rise of the dispossessed, you know, where people will really feel inspired to fight for their rights, but is a year of expansion. Now, Neptune, you know, is illusion. There will be lots of, I think there will be a problem with drug addiction, medication, booze, escapism, you know. As I said, fake news, because Neptune brings that illusion, but at the same time, There will be lots of reflections about faith and religion, and what do you really believe or not. And this is going to be in Pisces. And Pisces in the tarot is represented by the moon. So look at this, you know. I think you can just have a vibe by looking at these cards. There will be a shift here that at first is going to bring such an upheaval and pain, you know, and doubt, that people will feel very zoned out. What am I doing? What is going on? And I think people will want to investigate. And at the same time, on the same level, you know, this is Jupiter. This is destiny. This is Neptune, and this is Pisces. Will be urged, I'm not saying forced, but that could be an appropriate word. We will be urged to confront and let go of our own old ways. Old wounds will come up. What do you do with them? The question is, what do we do with what life made of us? Ultimately, is our responsibility. It's a bit like that. If I kick you, it's my fault. If you are lying there 25 years later, that becomes your fault, because it's also your responsibility. So, you know, I think the key here is to understand that we are exactly where we should be, and this is really for our evolving. There is no punishment in the universe, you know. We are here because it's a time in history that we are in the middle of the transition to a new way of living. That's the only painful part. Once we get to the other side, it's going to be different. But right now, you know, we are questioning everything. You know, we are confronting our own fears. This COVID pandemic, for example, you know, people discover that the person they lived with is horrible. It's like, gosh, you know, I don't want to live with you anymore, you know. And other people, they started valuing their parents, their relatives, you know. It's a two-way road. But here, you know, is that everything that you believed so firmly to be true, you know, all those opinions, they will be questioned, you know. It will be a beautiful process of reflecting, of seeing that we are not in Kansas anymore. This is a new world. And either we go with the flow, or we'll be engulfed in the waters of Neptune and Jupiter in Pisces. So this is my very brief, well, not so brief, but I hope it's not so boring, insights for 2022. I hope you enjoy, and I see you soon. Happy New Year. Fasten your seatbelts, because it's going to be a ride. Thank you.